Okay, hi everyone. I am Tonia Krebs from toniakrebs.com and I am your marketing and mindset mentor. And today I have a webinar for you that I have called Discover the Power of Your Mind and Radically Change Your Life in 3 Simple Steps. So if you have any reason to want to change your life, you implement these 3 simple steps and you will be well on your way. So thank you for coming. I'm really glad to have you here. I will save questions until the end if you don't mind, just because it's a bit hard for me to concentrate backwards and forwards. But yeah, so glad that everyone is here on the call, and it will be recorded, so you can have that. You can have the recording to go back, because you may actually want to go over the exercises again. So this webinar is for you if you're sick of procrastinating. Are you just sick of, gonna be a gunner? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Do you doubt yourself? And ladies, this is especially relevant to us because we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, and doubt is something that creeps into so many parts of our lives. This webinar is for you if you feel like something's missing, and that might be confidence, love for yourself, trust, optimism, fun. Like, you might even not be able to put your finger on it. You just know that something's not quite right. You might be feeling overwhelmed or stuck. Now, every day I speak with clients who feel overwhelmed. They, lack clarity and focus, and they don't know what to do first or what to do next, and it all gets too hard, and 9 times out of 10 they just do nothing because they don't know how to prioritize, or which parts are the most important aspects of their life or their business to deal with. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, you're in the right place too. If you make excuses, do you tell yourself you're going to start the diet on Monday? Are you going to go for a walk but you can't because it's raining? If you're the person who's always making excuses and you know that you shouldn't, you don't really want to, but right now you feel like that's just how your life rolls, well then this webinar is for you. If you're the kind of person who tries to please everyone, now how many women fall into this category? So this webinar is for you. You sometimes forget who you are. This is really, really important. And I know from personal experience that the way I would put it is that I kind of went off the rails. Not in a bad, I didn't end up in jail or I didn't kill anyone or anything like that, but I forgot who I was, and I let myself be influenced by people who I really shouldn't have. I tried to be more like other people, and I lost touch with the real version of me. So fortunately for me, I was able to get that back. And, and that's why I feel like I'm in a privileged position to be able to share this sort of stuff with you, because I have been there. So it's really important that you know who you are. So if you're the kind of person like I was who forgets who you are, like the real, honest, true version of you, then keep watching. So if you know that you are the change that your life or business needs, then this webinar is for you. So you know that something needs to change and you probably don't know what. You might have tried a few different things, but now you've come to realize that it's all up to you. So let's get going. You're probably sitting there thinking, who the hell is Tonia Krebs? Well, that's me a little while ago. My hair changes like the weather, so don't look like that today. But anyway, I mentor women in business. So I'm someone who in the past has felt like a failure. I've taken every course under the sun. I've known that something was missing, but I could never quite figure out what that was. And then one day it all came together. I realized that the common denominator was me. So I spent countless hours and thousands of dollars, and I learned new ways to move past my own limiting emotions. And like, really honestly, without exaggeration, I felt like a new woman, and I still do. It wasn't just a fleeting feeling. It has continued. So now I mentor women in business inspiring them to create practical ways to find real solutions to everyday issues affecting their life and their business. So I really love, and apparently I'm really good at brainstorming, right? So with the art of properly focused, solution-based, creative brainstorming comes a business that's more fun, and it's genuinely aligned with you, your dreams, and your values. So that business is a business that's more profitable and supports you to live your dream. Now, who doesn't want that? So where do I come from to be able to help you with this sort of stuff? Well, I have a degree, university degree in communication and sociology. That's all about people and how they fit into their society, which is a lot to do with communication is a lot to do with marketing, and sociology is studying the way that people interact. So it's perfect in a business sense. I have minored in psychology. When I was at high school, all I ever wanted to do was psychology, although I never wanted to be a psychologist. So, I have studies in those areas. I have a certificate in counselling. I am qualified as an Equip Empowerment Facilitator with the Institute of Women International, and I am training further with them, which I should be finished early in the new year, which I'm really super excited about. I am heavily involved in property and wealth creation. So I spent many years as a property manager in real estate, and I now also, apart from mentoring women in business, I have a property investment business where I coach people, everyday mums and dads, how to invest in property. So they do courses with me online, one-on-one sessions, and I'm not selling them individual properties. And that's the beauty of how I can help people, because it's totally unbiased, independent information, purposely to achieve their outcome, not the outcome of the agent or the person selling or anything like that. So that's a business that still continues, and I have a diploma of business and various bits and pieces in marketing, but I've also worked in small business marketing in various fields for many years as well. So that's a little bit about me. And actually, it was said to me recently that quite often what we think we want to do when we're around 19 is what we'll end up loving one day. So it took me a while to get here, but now I love helping other people to find their purpose. So for me, it might be overused, but for me on a personal level, I want more peace, more power, more passion, more purpose, and you can throw in profit too. I want more profit too, and that I'm sure that's what everybody wants from this. And if you're in business, you want the profit from your business. So, in the webinar, I'm going to show you 3 simple steps. You're going to understand the power of your mind with this really simple exercise. Then you'll learn the difference between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And I'm going to show you an exercise, really quick and simple, called the purple cow. Some of you might have heard of that before. Isn't that cow cute? So there are our 3 main focuses for today. The first one, understand the power of your mind with this simple exercise. Now, I promise you this is nothing weird. I'm not messing with your mind. I'm not going to hypnotize you or anything out of your control. I'm just going to show you really powerfully and simply the power of your own mind. So, you need to stand up where you're comfortable and turn off any external sounds around you. So if you've got the TV on, go and turn it off. If your kids are just outside the room, close the door. Just get into a position where you can really focus on me, on my words, and you need to be able to have a space that's big enough that you can stand up with your arms out in front of you. So stand up where you're comfortable and turn off any of the external sounds. Like I said, TV, close the door. So you've probably done that by now. And hold your hands out in front of you. Okay, let's go. So I want you to hold both your arms out in front of you and close your eyes. Put your right hand with your palm facing up to the ceiling. So keep your eyes closed. Your right hand is out in front of you with your arms stretched out, and your palm is facing up to the ceiling with your eyes closed. Now turn your head to your left hand with your eyes closed and imagine that I'm gently tying the strings of 100 light and bright coloured helium balloons to your left thumb. 100 is a lot of helium balloons, right? Like heaps and heaps. And you can feel the string being gently tied around your thumb. The balloons are so light. So light. Look at them. They're trying to lift your whole arm right up into the air with them. They're pulling your arm higher and higher. Now turn your head with your eyes closed, but as if you're looking at your right hand. In this hand, imagine that I've just dropped a really heavy, old-fashioned encyclopedia filled with all the written information of everything that you've ever been taught over the years. Oh my God, can you feel how bloody heavy that book is? Feel the weight of it. Your arm is really struggling to hold that really heavy book up. Your arm's getting lower and lower and lower. It's feeling really heavy. Keep your eyes closed. In your left hand, those balloons are getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, and you can feel them pulling your left arm up. The balloons are taking all the weight. Your right arm is heavier and heavier. In fact, it feels so damn heavy, you don't know how much longer you can hold that book for. That book is really bloody heavy. Now, without moving, open your eyes quickly and look at your hands. Isn't that amazing how far apart they are? And they're like that because the unconscious mind has no way of knowing that what I'm telling you is not real. So the unconscious mind has no way of knowing that what I just told you wasn't real, and it believed what I was telling it. So I did this exercise with my daughter once. We were at a bike race, being a cyclist. And she told me that, she couldn't do something or something was too hard. And I asked her to think about it and she still said, not too hard. And I was sure that she could do it. Anyway, we had this little discussion. We happened to be in front of a lot of people. and I said to her, just do this. I want to show you every time you think you can't, how, the power of your mind works. And so we did that exercise, and kids are really good at this because their unconscious mind hasn't been programmed the wrong way like ours have. They're full of innocence and they're, unadulterated by life's complications. And so their unconscious mind just does whatever it is told. And when she finished the books and balloons exercise, her arms were probably almost a meter apart, and she had no idea. Like, she was in absolute shock when she opened her eyes. And so we went through this exercise. She opened her eyes at the end, and everyone in the crowd around us started clapping. And then they all came up to me and they're like, "Wow, that was cool." I said, "Go home and do it. Do it with your friends, with your kids, with your partner. When someone tells you that, that their mind isn't controlling them, that it's not in their mind, they're not imagining it, go and show them that exercise." It's really powerful, because every day I speak with people who say that they're in a dark place, or they feel overwhelmed or stressed, or any combination of negative things, and they tell me that they've tried everything. Then they tell me that they just don't know what to do next. Well, they don't like it when I tell them this, but 9 times out of 10 the problem comes from their own mind. But expanding on that, the problem comes from their own mind, which they think they have no control over. So then I do that books and balloons exercise with them, and they're absolutely shocked. Like, they're actually angry with me because I've just counteracted a million different excuses that they were using before they actually understood the power of their unconscious mind. So their mind controlled their arms in such a way that they didn't even realize it. What do you think happens to their mind when they tell themselves that they're hopeless or useless or too fat or too lazy or too dumb, or whatever it is that their own negative self-talk says to them over and over again? What do you reckon? I'll tell you. Their unconscious mind believes what it's fed. because it can't decipher the difference between what's real and what it's told, and it acts accordingly. Just like your arms moved, even if your arms only moved 10 centimeters apart, they still moved. One went up and one went down. So I can tell you to think positively all I like, but until you actually tell yourself, like you tell yourself, and believe in positivity, then my energy will all be wasted. So you need to start small. Think about things you love about yourself and focus on those. And I can just see you, rolling your eyes and go, but I don't like anything about myself. Or I don't love anything about myself. There must be something. Do you like your fingernails? Do you like your fingernail on your ring finger on your left hand? Find something like that. Appreciate it. Think about how you feel about it, how it makes you feel when you look at it and think, yeah, that's nice. Focus on that. Think about the people who you love. Think about the people who love you and focus on those feelings, because what we think about, what we focus on, we attract. So you need to think of the good things. You need to feed your unconscious mind on positivity. It's kind of a big, broad subject, and I could spend a whole weekend with my ladies going through the power of their unconscious mind and showing them exercises to help them take back the control of that. But here we've only got a bit more than half an hour. So if you haven't quite understood the concept, wait until the end and then ask me any questions, absolutely. So following on from that, we need to learn the difference between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. Now, I've done a lot of training with the Institute of Women, and this is how they put the unconscious mind in simple terms. So they say the unconscious mind is a genie in a bottle, and your conscious mind rubs it as if instructing it. So your unconscious mind is all of those thoughts that are stored away. Then the conscious mind brings out what it chooses to bring out from your unconscious mind, or what it's been taught to bring out, what it knows to bring out. So conscious is that which you're aware of, right? And unconscious means outside of your awareness. Something that you do automatically is unconscious. So think about when you're driving a car and how often you get to where you're going, but you don't remember each specific detail. So you got from A to B, but you don't remember turning there, or you don't remember putting your blinker on there, or you don't remember hitting the brake, and you don't even have to think about the fact that a car pulls out in front of you, you slam the brake on. It just happens because your unconscious mind has been programmed so well that it just instructs your conscious mind accordingly. So your unconscious mind takes over because it's doing what it knows. So your unconscious mind, like I said, is the genie in the bottle, and your conscious mind rubs it as if instructing it. So you speak consciously, but your thoughts and habits are unconscious. With intent, you can bring your thoughts into your conscious mind by doing some exercises to start to take control of your unconscious mind. So this is a subject that I really believe we should be taught way back in high school, because it's such a powerful tool. Your conscious mind gets overwhelmed, and it allows all of this negativity and outside distractions to creep into your mind. If you learn to harness the power of your unconscious mind, then you can just have so much more peace and clarity, and come from a place of calm, because the unconscious mind is so powerful. So I'll show you how it works. The unconscious mind stores memories with emotions and meanings attached. So think of people who have phobias, which they consciously know are pointless, but they can't help it. Or more to the point, they think that they can't help it. So think of the person who's scared of needles. They know that every day millions of us are getting needles, and it didn't kill us, and it didn't hurt too bad. And they know that they probably need the injection, and they know that it's really only a tiny pinprick, but still their mind focuses on this, the phobia of the needle, and they feel like they can't control it. So their memories are anchored with this negativity that they've attached. Like maybe when they were a kid, they got a needle and it really, really hurt. And so they've anchored that into their unconscious mind. And from now on, every time they see a needle, they remember how much that hurt. So The unconscious mind stores those memories and the meanings that you've attached to them. So if you want to get rid of your phobia, you need to learn how to reprogram your unconscious mind. The unconscious mind organizes memories, and men and women do this really differently. It organizes memories in relation to time and subject. So women then go one step further, and that we then add more layers of emotion. So that's why we react to emotions so differently, and perhaps why we read so much more into a really simple process. You know, a man will have an issue, deal with it, move on. A woman will have an issue, deal with it, deal with it, deal with it, and then think about it 100 times a day for the next 5 years. So our unconscious mind then becomes full of all of these mixed up memories. And that's why, you know, it doesn't work in the way that we want it to work or the way that it did when we were a child, because we've filled it with so much garbage. Our unconscious mind protects the conscious mind by suppressing memories or emotions until it thinks the person is ready to deal with them. So take that as a sign that if you're not doing so well, that your unconscious mind thinks it's time to deal with something. So if something pops up, it's a sign that you're ready for it. Your unconscious mind affects certain behaviours when placed in situations it sees as a potential threat. So the male stress response tends to be fight or flight, while recent studies have shown that the females is called tend and befriend. It's our nurturing instinct. So studies in the last 10 years have shown that females will sacrifice themselves to protect others, especially the young and our loved ones, choosing only to fight when cornered. So in simple terms, if we were in a threatening situation, the research shows that the man would take on the fight, and the woman would take the children or the loved ones away and provide them with shelter. So women are less likely to fight and more likely to nurture, but we're still both taking on a protective role. So the man is responding more with his aggression, his defense, and the woman is responding with her, you know, protection and her love in that way. And it seems quite a balanced approach, really. The unconscious mind runs and preserves the body, so it will always want your body to be healthy, and it actually has its own blueprint for perfect health. So if your conscious mind is behaving poorly, it's likely affecting your body, or it will if it's not addressed. So living in the past, holding on to resentments, fears, guilt, not forgiving, and all of that all cause not just misery, but can cause dis-ease within the body. So think of the word dis-ease. It's you know, a lack of ease is a disease. If you believe, think about this, if you believe that the power of positive thinking can help people who are sick to recover, then don't you also think that people who are negative can also make themselves sick? Because I believe that that is definitely possible. Now, there are theories for, you know, the kinds of emotions that you hold on to that will make you sick in certain ways. And I mean, I can't remember the specific details, but there are books out there. Louise Hay has a fantastic one. You know, you look up your ailment and she will tell you, in her opinion and from the research that goes with it, what is going on in your mind. So once you can clear that, then you know, you may fix your issue, your disease. And I know from personal experience that infertility is related to a lot of holding on of negative emotions, and there have in fact been women in my courses, in my mindset coaching courses with the Institute of Women, who have had infertility issues for years and years and years and years, and then they go on this training and they learn how to clear their mind of their negative emotions, and they get rid of all the crap that's going on in their head. They go home and they get pregnant. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for everyone, but it happens. I really truly believe that negative energy will make you sick, and you probably don't even realize that you're holding on to it. So what else does it do? It generates, stores and transmits energy. And females have more neural highways and more blood flow between the heart and the brain. So this means that we have the ability to generate more through emotion, whether that's good or bad. And not surprisingly, Many females are tired and lethargic because they hold on to the negative emotions and it drains them of their energy. So think about, the people that you know, and how often out of all the people you know does someone say that, oh, they're tired or they're exhausted? And how often is that a woman? I know, my friends, my family, the woman, we just put it down to doing a lot, but really we're drained of our emotional energy as well, and we hold on to that negative energy so that we drain ourselves even further. It's really, once you start thinking about it, it's really quite obvious. Our unconscious mind instills unconscious habits through repetitious conscious behaviors. So think of that driving example, or playing a sport you're really good at. So in the beginning you have to practice, and you have to sort of like learn each of the steps individually, or each of the techniques, or pieces that make up that action that gets you the result. But once your unconscious mind takes over, like once those habits have been instilled in your unconscious mind, then you just do it. You don't have to think about it anymore. A goal doesn't become a 10-step sequence. You just do it because your unconscious mind knows all of the steps you need to take. Your unconscious mind is programmed to constantly seek more of whatever it is that you focus on. So that's why people who are feeling depressed often find it hard to get out of their dark hole, because they're focusing on how bad they feel. Therefore, they attract more of that. It's really common. Ask someone, how are you going? Oh, well, if they're happy to open up to you, well, I haven't been so good. And so that's what they're focusing on. And the cycle goes on and on, because what you focus on, you attract. Now, I can give you a really classic example of this. When I was at one of my training sessions with the Institute of Women, we were sitting around and talking about phobias. And I said that I hate birds' feathers, right? I think birds are beautiful, and I'm quite happy to pat a pet bird. But if you pick up a feather off the ground and wave it in my face, like, I'm giving myself goosebumps right now just thinking about it. I could work on that if I wanted to, but it's really not that big a deal. So I hate feathers. So I just finished telling this group of ladies how much I hate feathers and how gross I would feel if you waved a dirty feather in my face, blah, blah, blah. That night we have chicken for dinner. Guess who the only person was who got a bloody feather? Of course it was me. Because that's what I had been focusing on. I'd been talking about how much I didn't like chicken, like feathers, and here I am getting a feather in my chicken. Like, they couldn't have purposely done it. It was still the feather stuck in there. No one gave it to me on purpose. But it's an absolutely perfect example that what you focus on, you attract. You hear people manifesting nice things all the time. They keep a journal and they repeat it over and over to themselves, and they write it on the wall, and they have posters everywhere, and they play it to themselves before they go to sleep, and their dreams come true. Same way your unconscious mind, focuses on that one thing. So if it's focusing on how bad you feel, you're going to get more of those bad feelings. And this is another interesting thing that just adds to the depth of the unconscious mind, I guess. This is a really big one. It does not process negative words. So when you say, I don't want to be broke, the unconscious mind hears the word broke and it fulfills what you ask for. So it hears, I want to be broke. So a classic example is like when we talk about the power of moving towards or away from, which I'll explain in a minute. So when you say, I don't want to be broke, you're focusing on the don't. When you say, I want to be rich, you mean the same thing, but the I want to be rich is such a more powerful message to tell your unconscious mind. So just want to show you another really quick exercise, which will showcase the power of don't. So shut your eyes and don't think of a purple cow. Don't think of a purple cow. Okay, open your eyes. Consider what you just thought about. The first thing that you will have thought of was a purple cow. Then you told yourself not to think of that, but you kept coming back to it even when you didn't want to. You might have even thought of a different colour cow, but by doing that, you're still consciously trying to avoid the purple cow and therefore thinking about it. Because the unconscious mind doesn't process don't or can't or no. These negative words just aren't effective for the unconscious mind, so it ignores them. It's like they don't exist to the unconscious mind. There's that beautiful cow again. She's gorgeous. So I was speaking about towards or away from. So you know that your unconscious mind doesn't process negativity and that it attracts whatever you focus on. So I've got a question for you. When you want to change something, whether it's about you, your life, your business, your job, your kids, your relationship, or whatever, do you focus on getting less of what you don't want? Or do you focus on getting more of what you do want? Because there's a really big difference. I'll ask you again. Less of what you don't want or more of what you do want? Think about that. A classic example of this is think about people who've split up from their partner. Happens all the time, right? So they start looking for a new one. But they keep finding the same kind of partner who doesn't work out. Now, the main reason for this is that they say to themselves, I don't want someone who's, X, Y, Z. I don't want someone who's a drinker. I don't want someone who gambles. I don't want someone who is unhealthy. I don't want someone who is horrible to me. I don't want someone who disrespects women or whatever the case may be. I don't want someone with blue eyes. So they keep finding the same kind of partner and it doesn't work out, right? They're focusing on what they don't want because in fact they should be saying to themselves, I want someone who is, I want someone who has blue eyes, or I want someone who is nice to me. I want someone who is healthy. I want someone who is respectful. I want the things that you do want. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with writing a list of what you want from a partner. You don't have to show it to the world. Write it down. Focus on it. What you focus on, you attract. So we attract what we focus on. So we're actually, like these two examples, we're actually wanting the same thing, but the way they're expressing it and the way their unconscious mind hears it is really different and hugely important. So try it for yourself. It's pretty cool at turning a negative into a positive and getting you a much better result. Not only that, but you'll feel better in the meantime because you're focusing on a positive. So, you're bound to have a better day. You can see in the diagram, that you want, just say, I want to be, what you want really is to be rich. So if you were focusing on if you were saying, I don't want to be poor, that's an away from. If you were saying, I want to be rich, that's towards. So think anything that you're thinking, make sure that it's taking you towards your goal and not away from your current situation. So even though not being broke would be an improvement, it's still a negative. So just think about the way that you speak to yourself. So you want to be moving towards instead of away from. Okay, so I promised you that you would discover the power of your mind and radically change your life in 3 simple steps. Now, if you implement what we've talked about tonight, you really can start to understand the power of your mind. So think about that books and balloon exercise and think about how crucial it is to tell yourself the right thing. Now also think about how it can help you to enjoy your life, so much easier and better. So, you may not have the money for a holiday, or you might want to go to the beach, but you just can't fit it in today. So instead, take yourself outside, sit in the sun in a quiet spot, close your eyes, and let your mind take you to Fiji or to the beach or wherever you enjoy being. Like I did this for myself last week, and I happened to be sitting in the sun, and I thought, oh yeah, this is what it'll be like when I'm back in Fiji, because I go to Fiji pretty much at least once a year. And before I knew it, I could feel my skin prickling, and it wasn't that hot, but But my unconscious mind took over and really took me back to that place, and I was smiling. I could feel myself smiling, thinking, oh, how good is it to be on holidays? Like my unconscious mind really let me have a good time because I let it. I asked it to do that for me. So if you were someone who the books and balloon exercise didn't work for, so if your arms were in exactly the same places as when we started, I would suggest to you that you are trying to control your unconscious mind, and that you are not allowing it to take control. Which, there's lots of ways that we can work on that. But if you're particularly a control freak, you may not, recognize that or acknowledge that. But if that's in your nature, then, your conscious mind may have taken over and the exercise wouldn't have worked for you. If you really didn't believe in the power of the unconscious mind, then, your mind would be telling you while you're doing it that this is stupid and it's not going to work. There are lots of reasons why. So if you didn't get a result with the books and balloons exercise, it probably means that, you need to open your mind a little bit more, take a little bit more of a relaxed approach and get some help with really learning how to harness the power of your unconscious mind. So we learned the difference between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And when you sort of get stuck for that, think about the driving example. So your unconscious mind takes over and you just do it. It's like a reaction. It's like a phobia. The rational side of you knows that there's no reason to hate feathers, but your unconscious mind has been programmed from way back when you were a little kid and your mum told you not to pick up the feather off the ground because it's dirty and birds are dirty and they carry lice and they carry disease, and that has been programmed into your unconscious mind so much so that you now hate these feathers. That can all be changed as well. And then we talked about the purple cow with the towards and away from and the power of don't. So I'm sure you will never forget our friend the purple cow. That works for anything. And we tell our children, please don't be naughty, or please don't rip the book. Now, so much of this stuff can be introduced in the way that you parent or the way that you partner or the way that you teach. Instead of telling the child, don't rip the book, next time think about it and say, let's turn the pages gently so we look after them. Turn a negative into a positive. Next time the child is throwing a tantrum, there's lots of ways to reframe the situation, but instead of saying, don't throw a tantrum, you turn it into something more positive. And if you're anything like me, you can't think this quick when the kid's in the middle of throwing a tantrum, because I have an absolute tantrum thrower. But reframe your negativity into something more positive, and try and also try and draw their attention away from what they're doing and draw it towards something else. So use that towards and away from exercise, so it doesn't become stop throwing a tantrum. It's like, how about you come over here and we'll do this. It's a total shift to speak to the unconscious mind, so that, because if you say don't throw the tantrum, you know that it's hearing throw the tantrum. So those three things, if you put them all together, they're going to give you some really powerful ways to take control of your own mind, right? I'm not here to, I haven't done anything strange to your mind. I'm not here to reprogram it. I'm here to show you the potential. So if you have something in your life that you really want to change, that you need to change, this is the beginning of it to get the ball rolling. Start learning about your unconscious mind. Start learning about how you can reprogram it. Learn about the right way to feed your unconscious mind. You've got to fertilize it and feed it on the good stuff. Otherwise, all this bad shit creeps in and it stops us from living life on our terms. And that's what this is all about. So there were the three things that if you implement, really think about them on a daily basis, they really will help you to change your life. I'm not saying it'll happen overnight, but it will open up doors that you didn't even know existed. It's like the power of the mind and our own mindset is the most amazingly powerful thing we've got in our own body. And I'm sure you can tell it's something that I can get really excited about. Like I said, I can spend a whole weekend, a whole 2 days, solid days going through this sort of stuff with my clients on a much deeper level. We've only had just over half an hour. So I hope that that's been a really brief introduction. And as a special reward and a thank you for, coming on this webinar, which I know will serve you well, but you remember you've got to implement those actions. I'd love to offer you a free 15-minute focus session. So if you're looking for a mentor, you're thinking of starting a business, you need more clients, or you want some help with living life to the max on a personal level, you want to get more out of your own life for yourself and for your family, then, test me out with this 15-minute focus session and just see if we're a good fit. During our session, you tell me your one biggest challenge. So if you're on this webinar, that will probably relate to mindset. But if it happens, if you're in business, well, maybe it will relate to marketing. So you choose marketing or mindset, and I will give you one tool or technique which you can implement to take more control of that aspect of your life. So you'll be surprised what we can cover in 15 minutes when we're focused, which I will keep us focused and on track. We will be acting on purpose. So there's the link at the bottom of the screen, but I will put it at the bottom of the video in YouTube, and if I send you this email, I'll put that link in there as well. ToniaKrebs.com/15-minute consultation. Now, we have a couple of questions. Let me just check them out. I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. Okay. Rachel has said, I've got a business. I run a business and I help other women. They're photographers. So she's, I'm assuming she's teaching photographers. And I never seem to grow really quickly like other people do. What's the first step? Well, Rachel, if I've understood properly, tell me if I haven't. You teach people to be photographers, and your business is probably okay, but it's not really booming. And where do you start? Well, I would suggest that you start looking at you. Are you confident about your business and what you do? Are you passionate about it? Do you speak from the heart every time you talk about your business? Are you having doubts about your own abilities? Is your mind filled with guilt from something absolutely, totally unrelated to your business, but that takes up space in your mind? There could be a million different things going on here, and obviously without knowing, more about your business, then I can't really, go into specifics, but you're welcome to email me and we can have a bit more of a chat about that offline. But I really think 9 times out of 10, and I know it to be true from my own experience as well, 9 times out of 10, mindset trumps marketing. You get your mindset cranking along right, and everything else will fall into place. And even if you don't know your marketing at that point, having a clearer mindset will allow you to have a better connection with your clients, and therefore allow you to understand how to market to them better and more effectively. So we can talk more about that offline, but I hope that answers it. The answer is mindset 9 times out of 10. Have we got any more? Okay. Louise says, I feel depressed and I'm not sure that my mind is strong enough to get me out. Okay. Louise, depression is a massive, massive thing, and I don't claim to be a doctor. I suggest that, you seek help from the professionals in that area. Where I help people, I've had clients who've been going to, the psychologist regularly for years and years and years, and then they come to me and after one session they're like, I don't think I need to go to the psychologist anymore. So, that's their call. But I don't believe, if you're suffering from depression, it can be caused by many, 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 many factors, which, I wouldn't have a clue about your individual situation. But traditional treatment methods and, psychology and counselling and whatnot will focus on what got you to that point. So they will want you to talk about any bad experiences that you've had. They will look at regression theory and they will say, well, something must have happened in your childhood to make you feel like this. And they will dig and dig and dig and dig, and they'll try and delve into your unconscious mind until they find that answer. And sometimes they won't find the answer. So they're not making you, but they're putting you through a whole heap of suffering in an attempt to find the reason for the problem. Now, how I help women, and how I will be more qualified to help women in the new year, is a process called Creatrix, and it does not involve bringing up any of that negativity at all. So I don't need to know what caused you to feel guilty. I don't need to know the whole story behind your grief. I don't need to know why you are angry, but I can help you to get over those emotions. So, there's some really great resources out there. And if you're in that place of depression, which is very common, you shouldn't feel alone, many people have been there, then I suggest you look at different ways of taking charge of your mind and start off with small steps. Write a list of all the things that you do like about yourself. Put that list on your fridge. Look at it every day. Put it on the bathroom mirror. Read it every morning. As you start to feel a bit better and a bit better, write more things on the list. You go, oh, that's right. I remember. I like my eyelashes. Write you like your eyelashes on that list. If you're proud of yourself for achieving something that you never thought you could, write that on the list and focus on all of those positives. And they're just small steps, but they're steps that will take you in the right direction until you get enough clarity that you can focus on actually digging yourself out of that depression. Because as much as everyone else can help you, I can give you tools, the doctors can give you tools, the psychologists, the counselors, everybody can give you tools, but ultimately the hard work is up to you. So if you want to talk about that online, I'm here. I think mindset, the unconscious mind is a really, really powerful tool for people lacking, focus and motivation. And there's lots of tools that we can use to work on things like that. So I hope that's answered your question. Once again, I've gone really long-winded. I'm sorry. But Louise, I there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There really is. And, look at all the work of the Life Change Leadership Academy, Life Change the Revolution, and you'll see so many people attesting to that there is hope and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So you're quite welcome to take me up on the free 15-minute focus session. Like I said, I promise to give you one technique to help you change or influence your mindset, or if you're in business, your marketing, and help you to stay on top of your emotions. If you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking for someone to help you, through the hard times, someone to keep you on track, someone to be accountable to, then, test me out. Take me up on the free 15-minute focus session, and we'll have a chat and take it from there. So I hope that you're having a fantastic day, and you can reach me at my website, toniakrebs.com, and don't forget that free 15-minute focus session, toniakrebs.com/15-minute consultation. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.